What's going on, everyone? Kendrick Nunn is officially 100% healthy, according to Kendrick Nunn. Kendrick Nunn recently said on Spectrum that he is ready to go. He is 100%. And this is a huge sign and a huge positive for the Los Angeles Lakers. Kendrick Nunn could be our third guy. He could really provide what Malik Monk did last year and then some. Like this time last year, people were raving and opposing GMs and organizations were like, how did they get Kendrick Nunn for $5.2 million or whatever it was? Like, it was a huge signing for the Lakers. And unfortunately, he didn't get to play the year last year, but he's a guy that could be our Kyrie light in many ways. Now, I'm not saying he's anywhere comparable skill set wise to Kyrie, but he is a guy that shot 38% from three the last season he played. He's got a 36% three-point career average on like 5 attempts per game. He's a guy that's averaged 15 points for his career and was averaging 20 points a game in the playoffs and was the starting point guard for the Miami Heat that went to the finals and lost to the Lakers. So he's a guy that can come in and be potentially that third guy behind Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Now, I don't think he's going to start. I think he's very likely going to be the guy, first guy off the bench type thing. Whether we get Kyrie, whether we keep Westbrook, whether, you end up trading Westbrook for Buddy Hield and, Miles Turner, whatever ends up happening, I think Kendrick Nunn still will come off the bench. They'll likely run LeBron at the point. And not just that, but Kendrick Nunn, he is more of a two guard than a point guard. He's not really more of a setup guy. He's more of a let me go get my bucket guy, which we likely need, right? I mean, that's kind of what Kyrie is, right? If you go and get Kyrie, he's not really a point guard. He's not really trying to go and facilitate. He's more of a better two guard. And Kendrick Nunn, he's 6'2", roughly 6'3", somewhere around there. But he's not going to be a solid defender, but he could be a serviceable one, right? Especially in the team defensive scheme, stuff like that Darvin Ham runs. I imagine Kendrick Nunn at least tries on the defensive end, which is key. So if he could get back to being a 36 to 38% three-point shooter, give us 15 to 20 a night, get a couple assists. You imagine he's going to get some assists, but, the Lakers might look at him and just say, we need you to be a scorer. Go out there and just score. Put the ball on the court and make it happen. We haven't seen any really sample sizes when it comes to him being on the Lakers, but we do have quite the sample sizes with him on the Miami Heat. And he was a guy that is huge. He's a guy I've been preaching about. I've made videos about here on this channel talking about how I think it would be a mistake for the Lakers to trade him. I think he provides a lot of what the Lakers are trying to trade for. That go-to scorer, that guy that can knock down threes, that third option. He could be that guy. And if he could just get back to 80% of what he was on the Miami Heat, that is a huge pickup for this Lakers team, especially if he can get back and be a consistent, 36 to 38% three-point shooter. And he's a guy that wasn't shooting 1 or 2 threes a game. He was shooting 5 to 6 a game. That is a good enough sample size to know, okay, he can actually shoot the ball. He's not a sniper. He's not a guy that, very likely is going to hit 40+%, but you never know. I mean, he shot 38% last time he played. He's had all this time to work on himself, work on his body, work on his game, work on his shot. Maybe he comes in and he can get to 38 to 40%. That would be ridiculous if that's the case. I think if you're talking Kendrick Nunn, I think you have to keep him if you're the Lakers, because any team that's willing to trade for Kendrick Nunn, they're not going to value him as the player because last time we saw him, he didn't play the entire season. So all teams are going to look at him as is an expiring contract. And to use him to go trade for a Buddy Hield or something like that, I think you're better off giving Kendrick Nunn the opportunity. Plus, Kendrick Nunn provides you more than what Buddy Hield would. You're getting Buddy Hield just for his three-point shooting. Kendrick Nunn shot a better three-point percentage last time he played than the last time Buddy Hield played. So why would you trade the better three-point shooter to go get a lesser three-point shooter? Yes, you're talking volume, stuff like that, and Buddy Hield is a guy that can light it up when B, but he's rather inconsistent. He's a guy that's never had playoff experience. At least we know Kendrick Nunn, he averaged 14 to 15 points a game during the regular season and then took it up to 20 points per game in the playoffs and was killing teams, helping the Miami Heat lead to the NBA Finals. So why would you want to give a guy up like that? I mean, seriously, when he was on Miami, he was a stud. He was a guy that you were like, wow, this dude could be Miami's piece. But then Miami wanted to go get Kyle Lowry, so they ended up letting Kendrick Nunn go, and they thought we were better off getting the veteran guy, all of that stuff, which I think personally was a mistake. I think you go with the younger guy and Kendrick Nunn, who just got the experience and showed that he can show up and he's not afraid of the bright lights in the playoffs. Granted, you could argue maybe, one playoff run is not a good enough example, like let's see you do it several playoffs, but if he comes in and he's that 15-point a game guy off the bench and he's just killing other teams and he looks like the steal that many people thought he was for the Lakers, then in hindsight, this could be a great pickup. And you could always re-sign him if he plays well. If he doesn't, you could let him go or sign him to a smaller contract, maybe give him another chance. I just think that there's so much options with Kendrick Nunn. The last thing you want to do if you're the Lakers is trade Kendrick Nunn to a team like, let's say, the Pacers, and then Kendrick Nunn, who is still very young, ends up becoming that 20-point-a-game guy, and now you're like, man, we really could have used that. And Buddy Hield is, maybe Buddy Hield's giving you 15 a game, but, he's giving up 20 because he can't play defense, and he doesn't provide anything besides shooting. I think Kendrick Nunn is a huge factor in this upcoming season. Is he a guy that automatically makes us a contender? No, I don't think that. But he's a guy that could make some serious noise on this team. And look at it like this, if he becomes a consistent night in and night out, just say 15-point-a-game guy, which he was for the Heat. He was a 14 to 15-point-a-game guy. If he comes in and bees that guy night in and night out, when LeBron and Anthony Davis have nights off, he elevates his game to like 20 points a game. How is he not an impact guy? That is a huge impact guy. That is a guy that you can count on night in and night out. Now, obviously, health, things like that are a factor, but up until, the recent injury, he was a healthy guy, So if he can remain that and he could stay healthy and it was just kind of like, hey, it was just a bad moment. We got our body right. We got our mind right. We're ready to go. Come on, let's kill these guys. Perfect. Let's make that happen. Bring him on and let him be Kendrick Nunn. Let Kendrick Nunn come in and show what he could showcase. I just don't want to see them trade him and he really is 100% and he could go back to being Miami Kendrick Nunn and another team got that. And another team got that for nothing. I don't know why the Lakers value Buddy Hield so much. If you're getting the Buddy Hield and Miles Turner deal, okay, that makes sense, and very likely you're not trading Kendrick Nunn in that deal. So, if that's the case, then cool. If you could get Buddy Hield and you could get Miles Turner, I'm all for it. But if you're trading Kendrick Nunn, THT, and Winning Gabriel to go get Buddy Hield, I just think that is a moot point. If all you're trading Buddy Hield for is shooting, why? You have Kendrick Nunn, who shot a better percentage last time he played. Go take a flyer on Cole Swider. Bring back Carmelo Anthony. They're both going to provide you probably the same defense Buddy Hield is, and at least now you got two guys instead of one. And you're not giving up THT, and you're not giving up, Kendrick Nunn. However you feel about THT, at least he's an able body. The Lakers aren't in a position to be trading 3-for-1s, and deals and stuff. They need bodies, they need players, they need things. Not just that, but if THT has a good year, then you could probably trade him. Or Kendrick Nunn. If Kendrick Nunn, let's say Kendrick Nunn has a great year. Let's say the Nets hold tight on Kyrie. Kendrick Nunn is absolutely balling. Maybe you get lucky and maybe the Brooklyn Nets are like, look, we're going to lose Kyrie for nothing next season. Why don't we get Kendrick Nunn and re-sign him? He looks like a Kyrie light, maybe he could help us, because he provides a lot of the same things. That guy that can get to the hoop, that can shoot it from pretty much anywhere, that can shoot a high percentage from three, all of those things. Again, I'm not saying he's as good as Kyrie, but he would offer the Lakers a lot of what Kyrie Irving would offer. Kyrie kind of takes it to another level, but who knows? Who knows what Kendrick Nunn could be? Who knows what will happen when Anthony Davis and LeBron James are out? And it's like, Kendrick, you're the guy tonight. We need you. I think he's capable of going out and getting you 30 that game. He's capable of putting the ball in the hoop. He's capable of getting some assists. I just think he'd be a real value for the Lakers this season, and he could give him a chance to be the guy that everyone was so excited that the Lakers signed last year. This was the big marquee free agent, right? And then just think of what Kendrick Nunn or what Malik Monk did last year. If Kendrick Nunn can kind of come in and play that Malik Monk role and more effective, I think Kendrick Nunn has more of a natural skill set than Malik Monk. If Malik Monk was able to have that success, what is Kendrick Nunn going to be able to do? especially if he gets ample minutes and he's a guy that can really get the opportunity to go out there and perform. Like, he's a guy that I think can make a real impact on this team. Like, he's not going to be a great defender, which is fine, as long as he is serviceable. Darvin Ham can keep him within the team frame, like, and kind of shout him. We got a ton of bigs. All you got to really do is just funnel the defender to the bigs, let them kind of take it from there. Like, I just think that what you get with Kendrick Nunn can't be ignored if Kendrick Nunn is Kendrick Nunn. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on Kendrick Nunn. I think a lot of people want Kendrick Nunn traded for guys, especially the Lakers. Like, why trade Kendrick Nunn when he has the potential to be an absolute stud for you? And he's still extremely young. And he's a guy that could be on this roster for some time if he delivers, if he performs. And he's a guy that wants to be on the Lakers. That's why he signed with the Lakers. He signed with the Lakers for a prove-it deal, and he wanted to be in LA. So you got a guy that wants to be there, that could potentially be a 15 to 20 point a game scorer for you, shot 38% from three, can play serviceable defense. Like, that's perfect. Like, what more are you asking for? And what more could you want from a player? Like, that's everything, and even if he does ball out, you're probably not going to have to give him max money. I mean, he might want it, but, he's probably not a max guy, especially if he's coming off the bench. Like, so maybe you can get him for $18 million a year or $20 million a year, basically the Buddy Hield contract. We'll give you, 4 years at, $100 million, something like that, or 4 years at $80 million. Like, he would probably sign that to stay in LA, to not have to move somewhere else, to be able to display, especially if you're competitive, you're winning a championship, things like that. Like, I just think Kendrick Nunn is everything that the Lakers are looking for. So, but you have it at home. It's like, why are you going to go cheat on the perfect girl when you're trying to, like, the girls that you want to cheat on with, they're basically all the same features as this girl. It's like, it makes no sense. It's like, you have it at home. Stay home. Keep it at home. Like, I just think the Lakers would be making a big mistake trading Kendrick Nunn this early. I just think there's no value for him as a player at this point. So why would you trade him when you're not going to get fair value? And two, like, you don't even know what he could do and be for you this upcoming season. Give him a chance. If it doesn't work out, guess what? He's a free agent. So who cares? You just let him walk. Like, you don't lose anything. Your books are still clear. The difference is if you go get Buddy Hield, you're locked in on $20 million the following season. And it's just like, you know what you're going to get from Buddy Hield. You don't know what you're going to get from Kendrick Nunn. The mystery is worth it. You're talking low risk, high reward play. I think the Lakers should stick with Nunn and just make it happen. But that's my opinion. Those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear yours. Let me know down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you think, yes, keep Kendrick Nunn. Let's see what the kid's got. Let's see what he could do. He could be our third guy. Be that go-to off the bench, that spark off the bench that we desperately need. If he can get back to being Miami, Kendrick Nunn, we got a real hooper on our hands. Or do you think, no, like, depending on what the trade is, you trade him. I'd rather have Buddy Hield. Like I said, I don't understand Buddy Hield regardless. I don't understand the allure for the Lakers for Buddy Hield. I think it's more of like the white whale thing. The Lakers should have gotten Buddy Hield last year. They didn't. And now they're like, man, we should just go get him just so we could show face. That's what I think it is. I think it's more of that than like them actually needing or wanting Buddy Hield. I just think he's not on the best contract for what he does. Like, yeah, he's a great three-point shooter, but if he was such a hot commodity, how come no one else is knocking on the door for the Pacers saying, hey, we'll take Buddy Hield? I mean, the Kings tried to trade him for like several years and couldn't find a good deal for him because teams don't want, like, yeah, he's a great three-point shooter, but people want guys that can play 3 and D. Teams would rather have a guy that shoots 35% and can play defense than a guy that shoots 37% and plays no defense. That's the problem. But anyway, again, however you feel about it, let me know down in the comment section below. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.